Hi, Diane. Adjust this a little bit. All right, I see people are getting on. Welcome, Diane and Carol and Patsy. We'll wait just a couple more minutes. I see Donna has joined us and Connie's here now. All right. I know some people are away on vacations and stuff, and there's Ronnie. Hi, Donna. Welcome, everybody. Nice to see everybody here. Okay, about 30 more seconds we'll give it. I think people are enjoying the beautiful weather. They don't want to sit inside and watch a video. Hi, Sue. Welcome. Okay, I guess we'll get started with whoever's here. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. For those of you that don't know me, but I think everybody here does, my name is Corinne Sandin. I've been teaching stamping and scrapbooking for a very long time. As I said a few minutes ago, I hope you all had a great day. It certainly was beautiful and a day to get out and enjoy the nice sun and the warmth. So this is the host code. We only have a few more days till it's done. I see Cindy has just joined us. Welcome. So if you're putting in an order that's less than $150, please use this host code. If it's over that, you don't need a host code. You need to get all the benefits. I'm so excited about next month's Paper Pumpkin. If you have not heard, it is going to contain enough cards and coordinating envelopes to create 9 cards. And as you can see, they've given us a little sneak preview. I can see the evergreen, and this is the Fiesta and the polished pink, and I have a feeling this is Bumblebee and this is a soft succulent. So I think that they've given us a few sneak peeks. It does say that they will be featuring colors from the 2020-2022 and the brand new ones that just came out. It also coordinates with that Hot Expressions of Ink Suite, which many of us like. It has very bright, vibrant paper. I'm expecting my order this week, so hopefully I'll be able to share that with you soon. The other thing I wanted to talk about, if you're interested in doing a catalog party or a Facebook Live, we have a promotion right now that once you hit $250 before tax and shipping, you're going to get an extra $25 along with your 10%. And of course, the more your sales are, the higher the percentage. And at $450, you can get an item at half price, one item. So I think that that's all my housekeeping stuff. I'm trying to be organized here. So we are going to make a couple of really pretty cards. I am featuring the Quiet Meadow Bundle. So this is the die, and this is the stamp set. And of course, if you purchase them together, you will get a 10% discount. You can find this in your catalog on page 110 right here. Very, very beautiful. The book does not do it justice. So welcome everybody. I see Pat has found us. Excuse me, and Sue and Tammy. So I think I will change your mind after you see the project that I'm making. I'm also using these new tags right here on one of the projects as well. The minute I saw this stamp set, you know me, black and white came to mind. So the first card we are going to make tonight is black and white. So I do store my bundles together. I had to Mod Podge the paper, so I might be changing things up a little bit. Because I don't seem to want to stay. I Mod Podge the magnetic paper. So this is what it looks like. A big mess right now. So project number 1 is my black and white. There it is. I wanted to share another storage tip with you while I have you here. So I just love this set so much. As you can see, I've punched out a lot of die cut, a lot of the parts. So these are, where's my box? These are those snack size bags that you can buy. I buy them at the Dollar Tree, but I'm sure wherever you're located, there's a local. And then these are like little jewelry bags that you can buy at your big box store. So I put all the dies that are the same die cut in a little bag. And then I have it, because I knew they wouldn't fit in my binder, for those of you that have seen the binder. But this, you grab my binder. This, I can now come in and clip it. I put it on one of those rings. So it will be in my binder. I'm going to leave it out in case I need it. So that's a little storage tip for you. So I just took a paper hole punch and punched on the hard plastic part where you ziplock it. And then these rings you can find at your local Dollar Tree or Walmart or any of those places. I think they're called binder clips or something like that. I'm not sure. So let's get on to having some fun. So let me get my supplies out. I'm using a blending brush. And I have my stuff. I did use the brick and mortar embossing folder. Now please make sure you read your particular embossing machine how to emboss these ultra thick 3D type folders. Every system's just a little bit different, and it's trial and error. If it's hard going through, it's too tight. So stop so you don't break your machine or warp your folder. So this is your standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. 5 1/4. This is your standard 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 scored at 4 1/4. Then I have a couple of other pieces that are weird numbers. The first one is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then this one, this time, I just wanted my border to be just a whisker. So I only went up 1/8. So the width of the black is 2 7/8 by 4 3/8. Now, I'm not going to do it tonight, but I would be punching something out of here, even if it was just a couple of these to use for future. So, let's get started. The first thing I did was, I got to grab a piece of scrap paper. I've been out right here. So, if you look at my sample here, you're going to see some speckles. So what I did was I took the Smokey Slate and this dotted stamp that comes in it. And first I'm going to stamp a few without, just ever so lightly, to get a few different variations. And then I'm going to do some down here as well. It just adds a little color without taking away from my focal point. Then the next thing I did was I took my white piece here and I took one of my die cuts, and I put some of that removable tape behind it, which you can find at any of your big box. Stampin' Up! Does not sell that. Just to temporarily hold that down. Bring in my stamp pad, again, Smokey Slate. Now you're going to have to be careful because this will rip. They're very, very delicate. So I'm not putting too much ink. And I'm going to pounce more here because I don't want to rip that. I'm doing it very lightly. I just want to add a little bit of color to the background. Kind of like making a stencil. For those of you that remember those days. Very lightly. And when you're happy with the look, you just peel it off, and there is your stencil. You can wash these blending brushes. They were on back order for quite a while, but now they are available. Okay, so now I'm going to take this mat that I made just 1/8 of an inch wider than this white piece. All right, we can begin to assemble our card. I'm going to stamp this beautiful label. Is part of the dies that you get. I'm using Memento Black. I'm going to stamp it right in the center there. And then I took another one that I cut, and I'm cutting it right here on each side to make it look like it's underneath it. So I must have moved my silicone mat because I don't see it. So let me get my scrap paper back here. I need to get another silicone mat. I keep moving it back and forth from this desk to the other desk. Okay, so now I'm going to place this just barely over. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just little drops. Now, if you wanted to, oops, looks like some of the ends didn't get popped out. If you wanted to just cut the other one in half, you certainly could do that too. It might be easier for you. Okay, so now we're going to put this one on. Trying to line up those circles on the end. Oops, I guess I got to hold it there for a minute. Hold on. Let me turn it over so I can see what I'm doing. I love to take my die cuts and do that. You know what? I'm going to have to get my pickup tool out here to hold it because my fingers have glue on them. Alright, so while that dries, we'll put the rest of our card together. So 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. Bring in my brick. And then I'm going to put this on as well. You can use your adhesive of choice, but remember this is embossed, so sometimes it doesn't like the tape runners. Center that. Hold it there for just a second. Then I'm going to take these beautiful, beautiful dies. They are very delicate, people, very delicate. And I'm going to glue those just like this. And then this pretty flower one. Somebody that knows their plants and stuff would probably know the name of these. I know my husband would. But I didn't have the green thumb. He did. Well, we have a few gardeners here, so maybe somebody can say what these different types of flowers are. I'm putting this one in this corner. Holding it down just for a second. Taking this one. It's just like layering, I call it. Isn't this just beautiful? I think it's so stunning. Because I like black and white anyways. You have to be careful because sometimes you will pick up a little bit of ink from your cardstock. Your hands are damp and most of the it just gravitates. But I like the smokiness behind this that we created from that stencil. Okay. So now I'm going to put some Stampin' Dimensionals behind this. I'm hoping I had some big ones here. I don't. Alright, well, I guess we'll have to use the small ones. So, anybody do any crafting today? It was too nice to craft, wasn't it? I bet most of you were outside. I had kits to get together, orders to assemble. I had a busy day. And I had supper with my granddaughters. That was fun. Mom had to work and Dad went out, so Nana to the rescue, right? That's what Nanas do. So there's card number 1. Beautiful, huh? With just that little bit of shading behind it, to me, really makes the card. Okay, so let me put a few things away. I can start with card number 2. So are you ready for card number 2? Exact same, almost same thing, but I added a pop of color. This is the new Polish Pink. And we're going to paint the white flowers onto it. Oh, Tammy made some more cards after work. All right, so let's get the parts to this. This is one of those new tags. See how you get 8 tags and you even get the reinforcers. I just love the pretty scallopness of this. So I am using our new watercolor painters. Most of you have watercolor brushes and they will work fine. As you can see, I have a little bit of water in this. So that's going to be the last step because it takes a little bit to dry. Like I won't be able to add these embellishments because it takes a while to dry. You could use your heat gun, but I like it better to just dry on its own. I didn't score my card, so this is the normal thick 8.5 by 5.5. Scored at 4 1/4. Make sure you're using the gray. The light gray one, not the one that matches your cutter. Remember, it doesn't matter what brand you have. If the blade matches the cutter, that's the cutting one. The offset color is always your score blade. Fold it in half. And then grab my bone folder. So you can see that this one is just a little bit darker than the first one I did. So let's bring in that piece of scrap paper again. Sure this is cut down already. Yep. Bring back in my Smokey Slate. And my splatter stamp, I call it. This time I'm only going to stamp off once. I just love the look of that. It's funny, I go through different phases with my stamping, as I'm sure most of you do as well. Whoops, I didn't stamp off on that one, but it's okay. Alright, and then we're going to stamp the words again. Same words, the only difference is the coloring technique and the tag. Let the ink gravitate to my tag. The reinforcers, so you would just attach with some glue. I'm sure there'll be a project soon that I will show how to do that, but tonight I didn't. Let me just take my pickup tool, looks like. Oh, I also got another cool tool I got to show you guys. See these little, when you're doing your things? Look at this. I bought it on Amazon. Is that not the coolest thing? And it's rechargeable. So I don't have to buy batteries. Okay. Cool, huh? Okay, where's my card base? Right here. So I'm going to put this together as much as I can. So again, I'm using our favorite Tombow. It's a dust vacuum. Yeah, Sydney. Do you remember the days, this will tell my age, but my mother used to have a crumb thing, you know, on the dining room table. After she took the plates away, it picked up all the crumbs. So if you're interested in that, just private message me and I will give you the link. So you know that one that I've been using? I'm going to use it for this right here. I am going to put a little bit of wet glue because it just has the removable behind it. So this particular branch has a lot of bigger spaces, so you can use your Tombow very easy. I'm going to put it right here at an angle. Use my pickup tool to hold it down. Oh, good, Cindy. I know. I love it. Okay, so now I'm going to take this beautiful tag that I cut. Now, we need to stamp this with Stazon this time because I am going to be using water. So this is a waterproof ink. So as you can see, I'm tap dancing the Stazon. And the stamp is bigger than my tag, and that's okay. I'm going to hold that right there for about 10 or 15 seconds. So there's that. Now, if you never use Stazon, you want to keep your inside plastic lid. As you can see, I used Stampin' Dimensionals because this is an alcohol-based ink. So if it doesn't have a nice snug, it's going to dry out quickly. So let's add a little bit more color to this. So I'm taking my Stampin' Blend brushes again. I'm using this beautiful polished pink. I'm going to go around the edges to add a little bit more color. Very heavy on the corners. Give it a little bit of a vintage feel. So when you're happy with how it looks, you can stop. Then I'm going to come in one more time with the gray ever so lightly on the edges of this. Smokey Slate again. Tap off twice. Oh, I forgot to tap off. Oh well. I just want a little bit. I didn't want a lot. So you can see it looks like water marks more than... All right. Then I put a piece of black twine. Did you see these? These are so cool. You get 5 different colors in the same package. The item number is 155475. I think that's a great idea that they did. I'm going to take about 8 inches. It's usually enough for me to make a bow. Grab my ribbon scissors. I put a little piece of ribbon so I don't cut paper with them. Now I start my bows a little bit different than most people. I'm going to fold it in half, put the loop through the hole, and then put my 2 tails, I call them, through that loop. I can tie my bow right on top. So see how I looped it through? So now I'm going to tie a bow. Unwind it. Gotta trim one just a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to put put this actually on my card and paint it on my card. Like I said, it's going to take a little bit of time to dry. I gotta remember to replenish my big ones here. Okay, so now I'll show you the coloring trick. Trying to get the same amount here, here, and here on 3 sides if I can. All right. So let me take a block. I take a block. When you buy a white ink pad, it comes empty and you get a refill with it. At least I believe that's how it was. I did not check the catalog today. Let me take a quick peek while you're here so I can give you the right information. So yes, the Whisper White ink pad, it's on the bottom of page 129, has a white refill. The pad comes uninked and you have to re-ink it. And it's a lot like your Stazon, you have to re-ink it kind of often. So that's what I'm using to paint these, whitewash these flowers. So I just took a drop, and I like to use my Stampin' Blocks as a color palette. I need 2 drops. This, and don't worry if you see that this is separated because it does have an oil base to it. So you just shake it up and it'll be fine. Okay, so I'm using the thinnest of these new water brushes that we have. And I'm just coloring each petal. Trying not to get too much water. It takes a little practice. So I always keep a towel handy because it has a continuous flow. It looks kind of yucky when you first do it. But as it dries, the black will come through. And I'm just going to let this sit till tomorrow morning. Don't be afraid to dry your brush off. And see how it's not making the black bleed because it's waterproof. This is not something you can rush. So if you're one of those that want to hurry up and get it done, I'm not sure that this is a project for you. Now it looks very messy right now. But as it dries, it's going to get muted, just like my sample. You can tell when your brush is getting a little too wet. So just dry it off and start over. Yeah. So I will let that dry till tomorrow. And you just clean these brushes by running the water through them. Squeezing it right here. It tells you push. Then I'm going to pop up the words. Looks like I might have done it with gray, but it's okay. It's fine. So on this one, you only need pop-ups halfway because it's going to sit right here. So I'm just going to put a dab of glue there. And then take these 2 pop-up backings off. And I will wash this off in my sink. It's just, I will put the blings on tomorrow. They are the opals. what are they called? Opal rounds. So there's the cards for tonight. I hope you liked this class. Learned a few tricks to the trade. So on these watercolor brushes, you get two, I call them fine tips. This is a bigger one. So when you're done using it, you might want to take your fingers and kind of bring it to the point. So you can see the difference here. This one's a little flatter. And then we have a real paintbrush, which I'm anxious to try doing some background watercoloring. Look at that. So you'll be seeing me use this soon. They come in a set of 3. All right, so those are the cards tonight. I thank you so much for being here with me. Let me double check my cheat sheet, make sure I've said everything. So next week, I will try to feature a couple of men's cards since Father's Day is coming up. I actually have a 3D project in mind. I'm going to try it out, and if it works out well, I'll do it with you guys. So yes, I love this stamp set. It was one of those that I don't think the catalog did it justice, but once you start playing with it, you're going to absolutely fall in love with it. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate all of your support that you give me, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Please remember, stay safe and be kind to each other. Take care now. Bye-bye.